said, their content is stupid. There is nothing good to be learned here except to give into your passions, to become this very self-absorbed narcissistic person, because that's the message being conveyed. Hello everyone, this is Mother Anna from the channel Living Orthodox. I apologize if I might be a tad annoyed right now. I recorded this entire video and I didn't plug in the mic. That's how bad my baby brain is. Another quick thing I want to point out, because you see this mess we have going on here probably for the longest while. That is because our bookshelf yeeted itself about 2 months ago. It was already kind of getting decrepit, and yeah, it just completely collapsed. So once we're able to afford one, we will buy a bookshelf and you won't see this mess. But anyways, today we're going to be discussing the toxicity and, quite frankly, how beauty standards are just absolutely ridiculous. If anyone's asking, well, why are you making this video? Didn't you already talk about Vanity? Yes, I did, but I want to address issues that a lot of women and young women struggle with. And regardless if you're a Christian or not, you are going to feel pressured by these standards. What inspired me to make this video was hearing more and more women in their 20s, even when they're 18, getting work done like Botox, fillers, facelifts, and lip injections. What wrinkles do you even have? It's really concerning, and good grief, I'm 31, so by this logic, I should be getting my face entirely done up. Beauty standards have always been silly and have changed throughout history. And of course would be very different depending what country you were from. We've had everything from big foreheads considered beautiful, where women would literally pluck their hairlines and pluck their eyebrows to achieve the illusion of having a big forehead, to having thin eyebrows, flat chests, thin lips, having long prominent noses, small feet, which was considered ideal in China, long necks, rounded shoulders, longer torsos, thicker waists, unibrows, plump figures, you name it. We've had everything. There's never been this set ideal beauty standard. However, today's beauty standards are not only harmful, but they're just so ridiculous. Because at least in history, you could argue there would have been some women who were born naturally that were just lucky enough to have these features. So today, we're pushed this ideal image of beauty, being skinny, with a thigh gap, a big butt with no cellulite, of course, large breasts that defy gravity, flawless skin, so no pores, no blemishes, or wrinkles. You must look perfect, ladies. Large lips, have a symmetrical face, high cheekbones, and a jawline sharper than most men's, small nose, etc. No woman naturally looks like this. This is perfection to the nth degree. And what's really sad is that we're seeing a lot of women struggle with insecurity, falling to depression, anxiety, suffering low self-esteem, developing body dysmorphia, and eating disorders, because they're comparing themselves to phantoms, to mere fantasies. This is no different if we're comparing ourselves to AI art at this point, because that's how far removed from reality it is. Kim Kardashian is the poster woman for this ideal look and has been the one to push these standards. When questioned in an interview if she has felt guilty or responsible for pushing these toxic and unrealistic standards, she replied, "If I'm doing it, then it is attainable." It hurts a little bit, it hurts. Like, honestly, if there's a delusional award, it's like, please give her the gold medal, because oh my goodness. Obviously, it's not just the Kardashian family that have pushed these standards, but female celebrity culture, the modeling industry, social media influencers, and 18+ content. I will get into each category specifically, but before I do, I just want to say all across the board, the women who work in these industries are presenting an illusion, as their success is tied to how they look, and their final appearance we end up seeing is highly manufactured and a curated product. They spend easily 2 hours or more in their hair and makeup, never mind the amount of time it takes to find a flattering outfit. The vast majority of them have heavy amount of plastic and cosmetic work done, and they keep getting these procedures done ongoing. And keep in mind, when it comes to visual media, angling, lighting, framing, posing, and breathing techniques make a huge difference in one's appearance. Their use of filters, as we know, the use of Photoshop, and heavy amount of editing to make everyone look more attractive and get rid of any imperfections. So the first category, which is the modeling industry. It is common for women within this industry to starve themselves to the point where they miss their periods for months and sometimes even years. One I read as long as 6 years. And they view this as a badge of honor, which is horrific to know what the long-term consequences of that is on your body. Models who are size 2 to 4 are considered fat and are on the receiving end of catty comments from other fellow models or just people within the industry. So to the rest of us out there who are like size 6, 8, 10 or above, we'd be considered, I guess, morbidly obese by these standards. I watched a TED Talk, which was fantastic, where there was this model. She showed her very first, glamour photo shoot she ever did. In the one photo here, you can see her. She's with her grandma. She did not have her period yet. Okay, that's how young she was. This was a few months after in her photo shoot. This alone should tell you the power of illusion with all those techniques I mentioned and everything else. Moving on to 18 plus content. My husband and I are going to be releasing, I think, a 3-part series going over this addiction, the problems with it, and how to quit it. So because of that, I don't really want to elaborate too much on this point. The only thing I'll just say, ladies, these women that you see in these videos look very different in reality. If you just see before and after photos of them with just the makeup alone, it makes such a difference. Majority of them look very average. It's really sad that everyone has to look, so far removed from themselves. The only point I want to add here is that actresses typically fast and dehydrate themselves 24 hours before shooting, take diuretics and fleet enemas or laxatives to end up looking lean, and for other purposes that I will not get into in this video. And female celebrities. We all know this. They, with their wealth, status, and power, they're able to afford top-tier cosmetic and plastic surgeries. They're able to afford the designer brands and clothing that's going to look flattering on them. They're able to afford the nutritionists, their own personal trainers. And of course, makeup artists and hairstylists for their public appearances. It shouldn't surprise us, though, that we're seeing this very disturbing reverse aging trend amongst them as they're getting older. So right off, Gwen Stefani, Jennifer Lopez, Demi Moore, who's 60, by the way, Shania Twain. They look younger now than they did when they were in their 20s. But of course, they deny getting any work done. They responsibly claim they have achieved this uncanny appearance through diligent skincare routines, taking vitamins, clean dieting, and working out. It's incredible. We're not seeing with this groundbreaking witchcraft science that they're sharing with us, more women in their 40s and 50s who do these exact same things, but they look nothing close to their early 20s. What kind of occultic magic did you do over those vitamins, honestly?
One ring to rule them all.
Moving on to the next one, social media influencers. I want to share a quick story. My husband and I, we were at the beach. Whoop, 1 second. I gotta adjust. Oh, can I put this chair up? Oh, that's better. Oh my gosh, that's so much better. Sorry, I was having pain. I had to adjust the chair because I'm pregnant and I'm getting huge and there's a lot of pelvic pain. My husband and I were at the beach a few years ago, and there was this girl and her friend who was probably the photographer and a few other girls with her. The one was dressed inappropriately and she was posing amongst the waves, also inappropriately. And the friend who was the photographer was just going click, click, click the entire time while her friends were giving her directions, and it looked like they were trying to do something with the lighting, what have you. So they easily spent a good 10 to 15 minutes doing this, and I guess they called it a wrap, and they left, and that was the end of that. And you just know when she got home, she probably posted something like, "Had a great day at the beach, everyone." And it's just funny when you actually get to see this in reality because it is so bloody awkward. It is actually cringy to see in person. There's nothing glamorous or fabulous about it when you see the kinds of weird contortions and posing people do for this stuff. There are a lot of apps now that, while a video is being filmed, that apply very convincing glamour effects to people who are not wearing makeup. And they can even convincingly slim faces and bodies. I've seen videos of this. It is actually really creepy to see how far along AI technology has progressed. A study has also showed that less than 10 minutes of TikTok alone negatively impacts a woman's self-esteem, when the average time on this app alone is an hour a day. As I've never had social media and I knew I wanted to make the video about this topic, I decided initially I was going to spend half an hour on TikTok to see what kind of nonsense there was that the young people are exposed to. I only lasted for 10 minutes because it was that painful. I couldn't stomach it anymore. So I started off in my ignorance typing in the word beauty, thinking I was going to see beauty standards, and I saw a shocking amount of borderline 18 plus content. There was nothing beautiful about it. That's all I have to say. I saw quite a few reels encouraging young women to get cosmetic work done, and they would show the before and after. Again, same message. It's like, thank you to my surgeon for giving me this wonderful appearance. I feel like I can be myself. You feel what now? You feel like you could be yourself because you changed your appearance? How long is this happiness gonna last for? And of course, there was just a plethora of videos of these women LARPing as rich people, enjoying their girl boss fantasy or their bougie multi-million-dollar lifestyle. Oh my goodness. Like, talk about contrived, fake, stupid nonsense. It's just preposterous. It's like, how much debt did you put into yourself to fly to these lovely places that you probably cannot afford, or you spend it irresponsibly when it could have gone towards better things? These women, and they're trying to live so vicariously through a persona, and then have people look at them like, oh my goodness, like, look at you, girl, like, this looks fabulous. It's just such an immature message. But basically, in short, these beauty standards are pressuring women to reject how God made us and go as far as to disfigure our faces and bodies. These toxic messages make us to want to seek validation and glory from the opinions of others. And they're sending us the message to be afraid of or reject the natural process of aging, to make an idol out of our appearance or become extremely vainglorious, deluding ourselves into thinking we're the main characters of a reality TV show with cameras or eyes on us all the time, deluding ourselves into thinking we're supermodels. It encourages us to spend money irresponsibly on ourselves. It can have been used to pay off your debts, set up your future towards your family, charity, tithing to the church, and thinking vanity and materialism to be the greatest good. Lastly, these standards push many women into depression, developing body dysmorphia, eating disorders, and feeling unworthy. Your worth is not tied to your attractiveness or desirability. It is tied to who you are in Christ. The type of media we consume will affect your perception of reality, especially with repetitive and exposure over long periods of time. Meaning that if you watch this type of content with these beauty standards, you may think that this is normal and even judge normal imperfections as being ugly or undesirable of both yourself and others. What's said is that it's these imperfections that makes us unique and different as God intended for us to be. What I kind of noticed when I've been seeing like all these models or celebrities and yada yada, these influencers, they all end up looking the same. But anyway, how to overcome this struggle? Well, I got a few suggestions. One, I would highly suggest avoiding social media platforms like Instagram or TikTok, looking into like fashion model magazines or watching the 18 plus content. That isn't to say that all social media is bad, but be very careful the type of content you view and how much time you spend on it. Time is not renewable, for one. And number two, you have to be selective with what you watch. Be really strict with yourself, because for one, this type of content is not edifying in the slightest. I would also avoid following influencers or celebrities that push these things. Don't put them on a pedestal. And frankly, like I said, their content is stupid. There is nothing good to be learned here except to give into your passions, to become this very self-absorbed narcissistic person, because that's the message being conveyed, to be so focused on yourself. Reality that these people have struggles. They are flawed. They're flawed like you and me. They are human. Put God on this pedestal, put the mother of God on this pedestal. Not people like this that have nothing good to teach. Look into film techniques or things such as Instagram versus reality, the power of makeup, seeing models, influencers, celebrities before and after photos. That's not to judge them for their natural appearance, okay? It's so that you are aware of the reality, and it's really going to help you to be grounded. And it's also going to give you that barrier, so you're not going to feel this temptation to the allure of the illusion. And watch plastic surgery videos if you can stomach it, okay? If you're squeamish, please don't. But if you can stomach these things, it is good to see, because you're going to see how invasive and brutal it is. And you'll also see botched surgeries. I really encourage any mothers out there, once your daughter's old enough, okay, once she's a teenager, it's good to teach her digital and media literacy skills. The YouTube comments alone will show you with some comments that media literacy is going down. A lot of people are struggling to know what is the message being conveyed. You get to see this a lot where people will twist what you say. They get really worked up. They're not following. That happens, but that's part of media literacy, is actually knowing what's the message. Because these are skills they're not going to learn in school. So it's really up to us to teach our kids. Keep the words of Christ in the gospel at heart. There are so many verses in the gospel that teach us to be careful of vanity, that teach us to be careful seeking the glory and opinions of man, that teach us to be careful of not becoming narcissistic, very proud, and falling into this. The last point I want to say is, to be frank with you, everyone, as you get older and you mature, you just simply care less and less how other people think of you, and you care less about the stupidity. I know for myself, when I got married, I didn't care what men thought about me anymore. I didn't care. I just wanted to be attractive to my husband. That's the only thing that matters to me. And then once you have kids, your priorities change so much. Your attention and money goes to them. For the average person, you can't afford this stuff. You really don't. You have to learn to prioritize what's really important. To any gentleman out there watching, that's not saying you don't go through the struggles of pressure to look a certain way. But if I were to go over that, this video would be well over half an hour. I just don't have time. Maybe my husband can make a video about that if you would like to see that. More centered on men when it comes to this topic. Like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to support the Patreon, please do. And leave any comments down below of any other videos you would like me to go over, because those are very helpful. And I'm making up a list of topics I want to discuss. Anyways, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and God bless, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.